ability to be great. You have to be willing to activate the great from within. It starts with you, and it starts right now. Yo, back in the studio with Tyler Davis.
GT, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Just laying it down here. Another Activate the Great coming your way.
Yeah, man. It's a consistent effort. It's almost like we committed to this.
And it's weird, right?
Yeah.
You know, every week, commit to it, rock it out, make it fun. It's an accountability thing. There's a book, 5 Signs of Dysfunction, like in a business, right? We just heard about that with, when Kelly came in. Kelly Bird, that is the man, the myth, the legend on the executive coaching front. If you're looking, I can get you connected. Just, hit us up and we can pass that information along. No problem. But, one of those things, the number one thing, it's accountability.
Oh, there it is.
If we're sitting here putting this stuff out there, it's on the forefront of our mind. We're, looking for constant and never ending improvement. So then that's what this stuff's about.
And just showing up here, it keeps us accountable to all of this stuff. Because like you said before, man, how do we find a new topic every week? Man, we're always eyes wide. Yeah. Looking, letting it come to us.
Something's going to stand out if you want it, and I've noticed there's been some times where my focus wasn't where it needed to be, like a couple weeks ago, where we ran up on the, right where we were about to record and, I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared, and I realized through reflecting, hey, my head wasn't in the game.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I wasn't as focused and committed to, the mission.
Yeah, there was other stuff going on, so we pivot.
We do.
But still made it happen. And that's one of those things where you made a good point right there, I think, whether you want to call it law of attraction, the way the universe works, it's like a radio station. You tune the FM dial. You're always putting something out, and there's always something coming at you.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Good.
Tuned into the right frequency, man, it's going to flow.
We talk about that often around the office here, and just in general, it's you're never going to hear the song if you're not on the right station. You know what I mean? Right. So it really is it is tuning like that. You think your brain doesn't work like a radio and a transmitter? It definitely does. You got a transmitter and receiver in your brain, okay? It happens. It's a thing.
It's real.
It's a real thing. We just wanted to, talk about something real again, you know what I mean? And be excellent if we could help humanity find a way to save itself any way, possible, right?
Yeah, because it is possible.
Oh, yes. Yes, you can. So today we want to talk about 3 ways humanity can save itself from Big Pharma. Whoop!
Oh, man.
Trying not to get on a radar here, but
hey.
Let's talk about it, man,
Yep.
You see that show Dope Stick that came out, Michael Keaton was in that, talking about how these pharmaceutical companies and reps misrepresented the addictiveness of OxyContin.
Sure.
In stating in writing and, verbally, face to face, talking about this does not have an addictive effect. You can walk away from it whenever. And it was complete BS, as we know.
Right. I mean, being married to a lady who's been a nurse and in the healthcare profession for 18 years or more, man, she's she's seen all kinds of different stuff. And for myself, having been on both sides of the coin where I used to have to get prescribed pills because of the state of my health.
Sure.
There's always a side effect, and then you need another pill for that side effect.
Yeah.
And it's a
cycle.
It's a feedback loop almost.
It is.
Man.
No, it is. And you're messing with your brain.
Well, yes.
You are in a lot of ways, and it's not just the chemical reaction, it's the chemical creation that's happening when you feel like you need this stuff to make it through.
That's what it is, because it becomes addictive and it gets into your mind to where you feel like you must have that.
Right, that's your baseline, right?
Right. And is that truth?
Who knows? It's true. If you believe it, it is.
Right. And according to Big Pharma, absolutely.
Oh, for sure. True. Instead of all this health stuff that went down, like the pandemic, everything, hopefully it woke some folks up to some things. You know what I mean? You're seeing what's going on with, wherever you're at on the vaccination side. I respect everybody's opinion on that, but it's just a great example of you don't know what you don't know. Right.
I mean, being so plugged into the health and fitness community, I got a chance to see the other side of the fact that, in the media, in the mainstream media, they weren't talking about the people that were highly susceptible were maybe folks that were carrying around a little extra weight or maybe not physically taking care of themselves as much. So, hey, here's a shot.
Right. Well,
here's a pill.
Well, it's just amazing to me what they don't have to report. All I'm saying is let's just find ways that we can, wean ourselves off of, pills, wean ourselves off of, prescriptions in general. Okay. Yeah. Let's subscribe to health. Let's subscribe to a fitness plan.
Because really, those things are the only magic pill.
That's it.
I mean, there's no potion, there's no quick fix. And I think that's why a lot of times people lose motivation, because it takes as long to correct as it took to get to where you are.
Well, and there's a reason for that. That's a perfect segue into number one. Okay, number one, you have to stop personifying your ailments.
Right. It becomes who I am.
Yes, and as soon as that happens, quicksand, you're stuck. You're in the mud.
Yep.
Okay. I have, that's just, I got high blood pressure. I have this, I have that, but like, what have you done to take care of yourself versus just taking the pill? If you were committed as much to working out or fitness or a better diet as you were to a pill regimen,
how do I eliminate
would you need
pills?
them?
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, no joke, I can remember one of my, weakest moments was when my 2 young sons saw me crawl up the steps from gout. I had gout so bad because of my health and my alcoholism. No joke. So I had to rely on a pill.
And then what? You see yourself as that. You see yourself as gimped up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I got this.
I used to joke about it. Like, no, it's my swagger. It's my pimp walk. But that's just me on the inside trying to laugh it off, which...
Well, it's deflection zone, right? You're Danny Deflector, right? You get your pimp limp.
Right? Like, this cool thing.
But we do identify. If you think that you don't do this, the Matrix has you. You're completely consumed.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we do personify a lot of things, most things that we do.
For sure.
And you can flip it on its head. You can personify as something else and gravitate towards that. Not your ailments or like, well, this is just, I'm just going to deal with it.
Right.
Just because they said so. Let's try some other things is what I'm saying. So just pay attention to how you personify, what's going on with you. Oh man, I'm a, sports injury, former athlete, you hear people say that kind of stuff all the time. I've said it, like, you get caught into that loop, that perception loop again of like these things, that's a lot of these perception loops, that we talk about. A lot of times it's engagement with other people.
Yeah.
But it's also what you do to yourself, how you engage yourself.
Well, right. I mean, you made a good point there. Like, how many people played college ball or something like that, and then they got hurt and they lost their way because that was who they are. But then that injury becomes who they are.
That's right.
Instead of peeling away this stuff and figuring out who you are.
And what we're saying is, I'm not calling anyone out. I'm calling attention to this human condition.
Yeah, because we all do it.
We all do it. This is the human condition. You're going to hear that a lot, okay? Because we want to separate you from the things that we all do. That's not a Bob thing. It's not a Heidi thing. It's not a Sarah thing. It's not a Chip thing. It's not any of that. Okay?
Right.
It's not anyone.
Right. Because it can be easy to lose sight of the fact that we are a species on this planet.
Yes.
I mean, dude, National Geographic or whatever, we are a species.
And the problem is that we're in a me world, not a we world.
Right.
Okay. Right now, everybody's so worried about themselves that it's impossible to think we. It's always about me and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, let's flip that on its head too. Make it about you. Change the way you view you. And maybe
start with you.
Start healing.
Yep.
Hey, once you say personify yourself as a healer, like being healed,
yeah.
Versus just being in a position where you have to pop a bunch of pills. Now, I'm not telling anybody to stop doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
You want to consult a physician and like, hey, here's my plan. Here's how I want to wean myself off of this. Just don't stop, especially if you're taking stuff for your mind. Okay, you just can't do that. You'll end up in the corner crying or worse. So don't do that.
Can't stress that enough. Like my dad decided to do that. He stopped taking his blood pressure medicine on a Monday. He passed away on a Friday.
Dude, don't
you can't do it yourself. Like, because there are, like you said, disclaimer to this. Make sure you do consult the people smarter than us.
Yeah. All I'm saying is give yourself a goal to work towards. We all do this, okay? Personifying everything, including ailments, okay?
Yep.
Get a plan together, run it by your physician, by the people that you trust, and make it happen. Have a goal. Go for it. And even if you cut your prescriptions in half, come on, you're winning.
That's pretty awesome.
Your liver loves you, okay?
For real.
All right, so number 2, you're going to step up those commitments. You're going to define commitments. We're big on that right now. That's something I skirted and skated a long time, okay, was firm commitments. I'm doing this. I'm committed to that, and if you don't have a commitment, that's where you start getting confused about motivate. Oh, I'm not motivated today. No, you're not committed.
Right. Yeah, motivation's a mirage. I mean, that's something that, it's remembering what the commitment was and then understanding the fact that the commitment matters the most on the days you don't want it.
Oh, come on.
That's when it comes into play.
When you think about stepping up commitments, specifically to get yourself off of medication, okay, again, You're going to, hey, doc, here's my commitments. Do you think this will work so the end goal is to stop taking this?
Right.
Okay.
The consultation is to see, is my plan or my goal realistic?
Yes.
Because I think a lot of times where we talk about goals or whatever, folks make unrealistic goals and set expectations for themselves that are setting themselves up to trip. And,
for sure.
And fail in ways that are not healthy.
You do have to set yourself up for success from, is this real? Is this reality? Can this happen? But sometimes people use that to hide behind that too. Okay. You know what I mean? I want to see a commitment. Like, here, I'm going to get to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. I'm going to do the elliptical for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to start target training, and I'm going to do that for 45 minutes. I'm committed to that. I'm also committed to a better diet. Okay. I'm going to make my bad habits difficult to achieve. I'm going to create obstacles within these bad habits. Okay. You don't want to make it easy. Okay. Make it easy to commit to your commitments.
Right.
Set yourself up make that easy.
Yeah.
Make the other things hard.
Right.
Okay.
Your choices.
Your commitments attractive.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like you said, when I first stopped drinking, last thing I'm going to do is go hang out at the bar.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, hey, you're already committed, but why make it harder than it needs to be?
Man, and if you want to understand commitments, maybe like get into like an accountability group, maybe a discussion group, or hire a coach, okay? And, really read some books. I've read Atomic Habits 3 times in a month, okay? Just because I want it to set in. There's some really cool things there that you can learn about how your mind works when it comes to commitments, how to set them, like say how to make things look attractive, you know what I mean? How to make other things difficult, right? Step up your commitments. It's going to help your ailments. You're going to identify. You're changing. You're personifying yourself differently now.
Right.
You're seeing yourself in a different light when you step up your commitments and identify with that. So those two are tethered together.
For sure. And then making commitments like that becomes a habit. Becomes the new normal.
Right.
Yeah.
You start seeing yourself that way. You start falling in love with the process. And in a lot of these things, you start realizing what you don't need.
For sure.
Okay.
I mean, for me, I learned, through fitness, what I'm capable of from a business standpoint.
Sure. Well, it's great for your mind. I mean, you want to talk about, getting control of something, if you step up your commitments, you're really committing to your mind, your body and soul, really.
And the wild thing is, it truly does have a ripple effect.
It does.
Like, there are things in my family, my entire family, that are all different now because of the choice I made.
For sure, dude. This stuff matters, okay? These little details matter, so again, number 2, step up those commitments. Be committed to commitments. Lastly, do your own research. We're in the information age right now, okay? You can Google anything.
You can.
Okay? You can find multiple sources. You can do your own research, okay?
Just make sure that you don't fall into the WebMD trap. That's not what he's saying.
No, man. Yeah, don't create your own diagnosis. When you go to the doctor and something go with your gut. If something doesn't sound right about that,
go get it checked out.
Go get it checked out.
Because the crazy thing is, man, we do that with our vehicles all the time. Starts making a noise. What do? We take it to the shop, but we don't do the same thing with this body.
Well, but what I'm saying is, like, when you do that, if the feedback that you're getting doesn't resonate, get a second opinion and do your own research, okay? A lot of people don't realize this, but the United States is one of only 2 countries in the entire world, okay, this whole entire planet, that allows Big Pharma to market to the masses. You're not going to go...
It's mind-blowing.
Other than 2 countries in the whole world, you're not going to see a commercial for a pharmaceutical company.
Well,
they're not allowed to do it.
And the crazy thing is, right before that pharmaceutical commercial was a commercial for a high sugar cereal or something like that.
Dude, we're getting played.
It's hand in hand.
We're getting played, okay? We're pawns in their game.
Oh, yeah.
We got to make this real. Like, call attention to this, shine a light on this. We are getting played, player.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me, like, during this pandemic, too, they were sitting there talking about, vaccine, vax. Like, hey, why don't you try to get people's diet better?
Right. Right.
Why isn't it illegal? It should be illegal to take in that many calories at once. Okay. You want to talk about like healthcare. Right. I mean, you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. You know what I mean? It's
that's
sickening.
Been an epidemic of its own for years now. It just gets brushed under the rug.
Within the same vein, but like another notch on the belt, if you will. If your doctor wasn't following the Hippocratic Oath, how would you know?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're getting information, making decisions based on things that are presented to them.
It's blind trust.
It's to a degree, right? I mean, will this work? Hey, I'd like to see you drop 25 pounds before we get you on this. I'd like to get here. I'm going to give you this prescription. This is going to be good for 30 days. I want you, during that time, I want you to do X, Y, and Z and see if we still need it.
Right. But how many people do? And another thing that I think people always forget sometimes is it's called a medical practice. It's not perfected. They're practicing.
Oh, man.
I mean, there's a lot of things that they know, but there's also a lot of things they don't know.
Well, that's the thing, though, man. But these for-profit medical establishments are addicted to blind faith.
Right.
Well, they monetized it. I mean, like, you look at all
business.
the money. It's a great business. They're always looking for their next hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're always looking. We are marks to them. We are just this herd, and here it goes. No, this will work. No, do this. I mean,
what's the easiest way to keep the herd in check? You keep them sick. You keep them scared. You keep them. I mean, man, you control what they're eating. You can, You
guys want to get in on it? Start looking to see who owns these pharmaceutical companies.
Dude,
a lot of banks.
Oh man,
Ooh.
yeah. It's I mean, my wife that I mentioned before, the nurse, read the Fauci book after all this, and like some of the stuff she shared with me, I was almost like heartbroken.
It's sickening.
It's wild, man.
It is. So this is why we want to talk about it. This is why we want to call this stuff out. So to recap, 3 ways humanity can save itself from big pharma. Number 1, stop personifying your ailments. See yourself in a new light.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be there forever. You don't want to be in that space. I'm not telling anybody to stop doing what they're doing from a medication standpoint.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is find a way out.
Yeah. If
get
one
an
exists,
exit strategy with this. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about it with your physician. Get it going. Change the way you view yourself, and I guarantee you your ailments will change.
Guaranteed.
They'll fade. Okay, because you can work towards it, right? And in order to do that, the way you can help yourself is you got to step up your commitments. Number 2, step up your commitments. Commit to commitments, right?
Stay committed to the commitment.
You got to do it. You got to put you at the center of you. Again, dude, yes, you're worth this.
Yeah.
You're worth committing to.
Right, because
let's do this.
There's a lot of people counting on you.
Oh, for sure. And lastly, do your own research. Check it out. If something doesn't resonate, get another opinion. Does it work for you? Does this work for you? You got to feel good about it. And there's always more than one answer.
Yeah, there is. It's not a one-size-fits-all.
Oh, man. Save yourself. Commit to yourself. Put you at the center of you. And let's just get off the pills, man.
Yeah.
Let's try to work towards it. Let's get an exit strategy. We'll catch you next time.
Want to take a quick minute to thank our sponsor, ccmindiana.com, for all your mortgage needs. Very competitive, ready to rock, ready to help you be a pre-approved buyer that can compete. Ready to get pre-approved for your next mortgage? Stop by ccmindiana.com and see how we can help.